Alrighty, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are at the Oxford Plains Speedway, ready for race number 8 of the Leave the Pack Super Series season. The drivers are making their way to the starting grid, and we are just about ready to kick things off. We've qualified, we've gotten everything taken care of there, and look at the track we're at tonight. The Pick-a-Lane 200, and we'll talk about that more in just one moment. But the Oxford Plains Speedway, one of the more unique tracks that we visit here in the Leave the Pack Super Series. You do a lot of turning. You don't get full throttle for very long if you do get full throttle. You can see the track temperature 94 degrees, so a little bit hotter than the previous races here in the Leave the Pack Super Series, but we'll see how it shakes out. The field sitting on the front straightaway, ready to go racing. We'll look at our starting grid here. As on the pole for tonight's race, the 15 of Kyle Terzak, fast qualifier, a 14.552. His outside will be the number 72 of Stephen Choate. Going to start second. Scheduled to start from the third spot, he's going to have to serve an EOL after winning the past 2 races. That's going to be Tracy Petter. He'll come from the rear of the field. Starting from the 4th spot, it's going to be Kyle St. Jean in the 55. The other number 55 going to roll off from row number 3 on the bottom. It's Gavin Gardner. His outside, it's going to be Adam Fulford Jr. in the 71 in the 6th spot. Brandon Elvis in the 54 going to start from the 7th spot here tonight. To his outside is ECR teammate, the number 80 machine of Chris Smith. Brandon Atkinson in the 15 machine going to roll off from the 9th spot here this evening. And to his outside, rounding out your top 10 starters, it's the number 2 of Connor Knowlton. Row number 6 on the inside is the 222 machine of Jeremiah Woods Jr. And to his outside, it's going to be Justin Mulliken in the 51. And then rounding out our field out back, it's going to be Christian Peterson in the 23, Caleb Thompson in the 04, Zachary Wilt in the other 04, and then Matt Borndren in the 00. Going to bring us to the green. You can see Justin Coleman on your scoring pylon, but not going to be racing here tonight. He's actually going to be our choose cone. We'll talk about that if and when we get a caution flag, but we'll see Coleman out on track, the choose cone, here in the Pick-a-Lane 200. That's the title of the race. For good reason, too, as we get ready to send them green. The green flag is out, and we are underway in race number 8 of the season at Oxford Plains. The pair of 55s make a little contact through turns 1 and 2. That was Gavin Gardner up over the curb on lap number 1. Everybody getting settled in early on. Kyle Terzak going to take the top spot. He'll lead lap number 1. We're going to have to keep an eye on that 79 machine, Tracy Petter. Qualified 3rd, but had to start from the rear here tonight. You win 2 races and leave the pack, you have to start from the rear of the next one. So Petter coming from the back tonight. He's going to try to get some good track position here early on, as he's got, I think that's Zach Wilt in the 04 machine. 2 04s on the racetrack, both of them happen to be orange and white. That one out in front is Zachary Wilt. The other one right there on your screen is Caleb Thompson. Chris Smith got sideways there, and Caleb Thompson does go around in the 04. We'll see if he can get that car spun back out. I think he's going to continue on. But Thompson, tough break there. He will lose a ton of ground, and he's going to be at risk of going a lap down here early. Thompson in the 04 machine. The driver out of Maine, his home track here at Oxford. Not the way he wanted to start this one. Still a lot of time left to go, though. If we get a caution flag, he can be right back in it. Because now we watch the battle up front. Steven Choate in the 72 machine. Settling in behind your race leader, Kyle Terzak. Battle for third. The 55 is going to swap positions there. Kyle St. Jean gets around Gavin Gardner. That's for the third spot. Brandon Elvis in the 54. Back behind them. Last spot in the top 5. Connor Knowlton on his rear bumper. New Machine wanting to take that spot here early. It looks like he will take that position, move Connor Knowlton up to the 5th spot. He started 10th in this one. A big mover so far, wasting no time trying to get to the front. He knows how important track position is going to be here this evening. Lap 13 up on the board for Kyle Terzak. And right now the field getting pretty spread out. Now I'm interested to see if we get a caution flag here in these early laps. Everybody's spread out like this. Gonna really allow these drivers to maintain the green flag condition. Everybody hangs on to their race cars. And I said it in the drivers' meeting to these guys, but the more laps that they get under green, the wider this racetrack is going to get. I've seen it before where drivers are all the way up on the outside lane, making that groove work. And actually making passes with that groove as well, so we can hope that the second lane becomes a factor later on. Right now, battle for the second spot. Steven Choate trying to hold off Kyle St. Jean as he gets around Caleb Thompson. Remember, we saw the 0-4 go around. Unfortunately, one lap down here early on to Kyle Terzak. Connor Knowlton in the number 2 up to the 4th spot. Not wasting any time is Connor Knowlton. Another driver that's not wasting any time, the 79 of Tracy Petter. He's up to the 9th spot. He started from the back in this one, in the 16th position. After winning the past 2 races, he's got a pretty solid points lead over Kyle Terzak. Terzak knows what he has to do. Try and close that gap. He's doing just that right now. He qualified pole here tonight. He is leading out front. You can lead the most laps in the race. That is an extra 3 bonus points for you. Right now we're watching Tracy Petter in the 79 on the back bumper of Adam Fulford. Fulford started this race in the 6th spot, has not gone forward, running in 8th right now. And Tracy Petter's going to sneak underneath, try and take that position as well. Six laps in. Kyle Terzak stretching out his race lead. 1.1 is the gap. Currently just setting sail on the field. But you also, when you're that far ahead, you want to save while you're out there, you don't want to put too much wear in the tires. Don't want to overheat a specific corner of the race car, as we see the 54, Brandon Elvis, get a little bit sideways through the center. It looks like early on he may be fighting that race car. And Oxford is definitely a track that if you are fighting the handling of the race car, definitely going to let you know fast. You can see the 54 starting to use up that second groove, try and get the car rotated. Jeremiah Woods and the 222 machine back behind him. And look at that, the outside lane here early on. Looks like it might be coming in a little bit. The 222 of Jeremiah Woods making passes on that top side. Brandon Elvis was able to hold off the 222s as well. Better in the 79. Up to the 6th spot. He's going to try to track down Gavin Gardner here, as Gardner currently runs in the 5th position. This battle on track is for the 7th spot. That's Jeremiah Woods to the inside, Brandon Elvis to the outside. Woods fighting some connection troubles there, it looks like, blinking in and out a little bit. But he will take that position. Move Jeremiah Woods out in front of Brandon Elvis for the 7th spot. Up front, the 4 GTT cars all nose to tail, exiting turn number 4 right here. About a second or 1.2 seconds behind Kyle Terzak. Right now, Kyle St. Jean leading the JTT cars. They are being hunted down by Tracy Petter. Petter, that last lap, the fastest car on the racetrack. We'll have to keep an eye on that 79 machine. And this is a very long race. Petter had to start from the rear, but only 16 cars tonight. Gonna allow a lot of time for Tracy Petter to make his way through this field. We've been green from the drop of the green flag. And there are no competition yellows, no stages, no scheduled breaks for these drivers, so it can go green all the way. They are able to make it on fuel, but they also do have a set of tires in the pit, so we'll have to see what the strategy looks like, especially if we get cautions towards the midpoint of this race. Stephen Choate in the 72, riding in the 3rd spot right now. He's got 2 of Connor Knowlton back behind him. Knowlton looks like he may be starting to pick up the pace a little bit. And up in front of him, Kyle St. Jean, I think, maybe slowing down just a little bit at this moment. You can see the field getting spread out right there. Everybody's starting to really feel the handling differences in their race cars. The first 30, 40 laps, you're still getting settled in. But once you get past that lap 50 mark, if your car isn't handling quite up to par with what you'd like it to be, you definitely start to know. As now the number 2 of Connor Knowlton gets around Stephen Choate right there. That is for the 3rd spot on the racetrack. He's going to set his sights on Kyle St. Jean for 2nd. And don't look now, but there is Tracy Petter in their rearview mirror. Still one of the faster cars on the racetrack. I think the fastest that last time by. But a lot of speed in this 79 machine. He's been slowly working away at the gap. Lap 53 up on the board. Herzak in the 15. Makes his way up and out of turn number 4. You can see the gap that he's got through the center of the corner there. He's kept it pretty similar, though. Christian Peterson in the 23 machine down pit road. Trouble for the 23. Oh, and trouble for the 51 of Justin Mulliken. And that is going to bring out the caution for the first time here tonight. I did not see if there was contact there, but I saw Justin Mulliken go for a slide. See if we can't look at what happened. Here's a 51 going down into turn number 3. Oh, and it looked like the 71 of Fulford got a little sideways. And then I think Justin Coleman got sideways behind him. We've got a couple cars coming down pit road making adjustments here. I don't think we'll see anybody quite take tires just yet. And I stand corrected. Tires going on. I don't think Stephen Choate took tires up front, but a couple drivers electing to take the right sides. Now the field gonna come back to, I believe, the choose cone this time by, and this is gonna be the most interesting part of our night up to this point. You can see that's Justin Coleman, typically a regular here in the Leave the Pack Super Series, but tonight he's going to be used as the choose cone. We're going to have inside, outside. You'll see which way drivers elect to go. And it definitely shook things up there. You're going to see the lanes look a little bit different as Coleman drops back to the bottom. They'll get the 1-to-go signal this time. Kyle Terzak going to bring the field to the green. Kyle St. Jean in the 55 elected to choose the bottom behind Kyle Terzak, and that's the interesting thing about the choose cone here. It really evens things up. Look at Tracy Petter in the 79 jump up to the outside lane. He gains a couple spots there. We'll see how it shakes out on this restart. Is the pace car going to drop back to the safety of pit road? Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is back out. We're back underway. Down into turn number 1. Connor Knowlton able to get down right behind Kyle Terzak in the 15. Everybody gets back up to speed for the first time. This is where you're going to see if you made the right adjustment on pit road, if you're one of these drivers a little bit further back. As look up front, Tracy Petter in the 79 machine on the outside lane, making that second groove work. But for how long is he going to be able to? You see that time Kyle St. Jean pulls back ahead. Petter going to have to try to get down in front of Gavin Gardner here. I think Gardner may have checked up a little bit right there to let the 79 of Tracy Petter get down. He's got Jeremiah Woods up on the outside lane. Woods in the 222s trying to make that second groove work. You can see her whole field down the back straightaway. Not a lot of straightaway here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. As they thought about 3 wide right there. Brandon Elvis in the 54 kind of stuck back behind the 222 of Jeremiah Woods. So he's trying to get around Zachary Wilt on the outside lane. Going to pull ahead, and now Brandon Elvis going to sneak underneath the 222 of Jeremiah Woods. An outside lane works, but only for a couple laps. You have to get back down to the bottom to cool off the right front. Otherwise, you'll start to burn off that corner of the race car. But now back up front, Connor Knowlton not letting Kyle Terzak get away like he did in that first run. The gap was 1.3 seconds, I believe, when the caution flag flew. Battle up front. Your top 4 all nose to tail right here. Oh, one sideways back behind. That's Jeremiah Woods in the 222 machine. He was battling with Zach Wilt. I think there was a little contact going down into 3. Everybody able to hang on, though. Good save from Woods in the 222s. Up front, Kyle St. Jean in the number 55. Another driver that calls Oxford not really home, but one of his home tracks on iRacing. We don't have a lot of the northeastern tracks on the iRacing service. St. Jean in the 55 kind of got down onto the apron right there. May open up the door for Tracy Petter to get to the inside. We'll see if Petter can get the power down. You can see the 55 definitely starting to lose a little bit of speed. At least get out of his rhythm a little bit. Very easy to break your rhythm here at Oxford, and when you do, it can be hard to get that car back up to pace, back to hitting your marks. As Kyle Terzak continues to show the way. Connor Knowlton keeping him close, though, only 0.3 of a second the gap. And how about Brandon Elvis in the 54? On the outside lane, making the move around Gavin Gardner. And the key to the outside is pinching the car to the inside off the corner. Trying to get as straight of a run on the exit as you can. You can see that 54 definitely has some speed here early on. The question is, did he take his tires too early? We've still got 120 laps to go. Another driver on a similar strategy, that's Brandon Atkinson. And now Tracy Petter to the inside of Kyle St. Jean. Battle for the third spot. Tracy Petter in the 79, going to get around Kyle St. Jean, going to take the third spot away. And now the 55 going to be under attack from Brandon Elvis in the 54 machine, who's moved back to the inside of the racetrack. Elvis in the 54 trying to get around St. Jean. St. Jean trying to use up that outside lane the best that he's able to. We're about 15 laps shy of the halfway point in this one. Couple battles going on, different points in the racetrack. Up front though, Connor Knowlton, these past couple laps has been just a little bit quicker than Kyle Turzak. As I say that, Turzak picked up the pace that time. The driver back behind him, Tracy Petter, closing the gap to your race leader. Oh, and there's contact there up front. Kyle Turzak in the 15 machine trying to hold off that inside lane. And look at Brandon Elvis on the outside. Makes several positions in one lap. They're going to try 3 wide down the back straightaway. Kyle Turzak trying to hold that car to the inside. And here comes Brandon Elvis to the top. Brandon Elvis to the way outside of the racetrack, and there's contact. Elvis got kind of shuffled off to the exit, and he'll lose a couple spots. He got damage on the left front of that race car. But Brandon Elvis in the 54 on the way outside of the racetrack, making that third groove work. Going to get around Kyle Turzak here. Turzak, I think, may have overused the good in that car a little bit too early on. We are 90 laps in. Look at the battle for the third spot. Brandon Elvis using up that outside lane. Brandon Atkinson trying to follow behind him as Connor Knowlton leads the way. He's got Tracy Petter right on his back bumper. Battle continues on for third. The pair of 15s right there side by side. Brandon Elvis in the 54. He's got damage on the left front of that race car. I'll be interested to see how that affects him in the long run. You can see Kyle Turzak starting to creep back to the bottom. That's the tough part about the outside lane, like I mentioned earlier. Once you run it for a certain amount of laps, it starts to make that right front tire a little bit unhappy. I think that may be what Brandon Elvis is running into. His run kind of stalled out on the top. Things got crazy there for a moment. All right at the front of the pack, too. Elvis and Turzak still side by side for third. And Elvis in the 54, I feel like he may be in a bad spot if we do get another caution with those fresher tires right now. Everybody else will have fresher tires than him at the end of the race, so that's going to be a difficult thing if we do get another caution. As now Brandon Atkinson to the inside of the 54. Yeah, you can definitely see, I think maybe the damage on the left front of Brandon Elvis's race car may be starting to affect the handling on that race car a little bit. As he gets back down into line in 5th behind Kyle St. Jean, and Kyle St. Jean into the back bumper of Brandon Elvis. And around goes the 54 machine. 55 of St. Jean was running in the 5th spot. Or running in the 6th spot, I should say. There was contact there. We'll have to watch it one more time. This was going down into 1. And look at the 55, just got into the back bumper and sent the 54 around. It was a fast spin there. And my goodness, Connor Knowlton in the number 2 machine electing to stay out. What a strategy call there. Now the driver's down pit road. Looks like the field is getting all caught back up here. I think they're going to get the 1 to go signal next time around, and it'll be choose cone time once again. Justin Coleman in the cone car here tonight. See where they all go. Field will line up. They'll get the 1 to go signal this time. Connor Knowlton going to line up on the bottom. Your front. It was your front 4. I think your front 5, excluding Tracy Petter right there. That did not come to pit road that last caution, so we'll see what happens on the restart as Connor Knowlton and Brandon Atkinson bring us back to green with 95 laps to go. 95 to go here at Oxford. Connor Knowlton leads into turn number 3. Tracy Petter thought about 3 wide through the middle right there. Thought better of it. Now I think he may have some right front damage there as there was contact down into the corner. Brandon Atkinson on the outside of Stephen Choate. Gavin Gardner up into the 2nd spot. Choate trying to take 3rd. Now, after they got those tires, the inside lane definitely coming back in. The advantage not quite there on that outside lane. Comes Kyle Terzak to the inside of the 72 of Stephen Choate. And now Tracy Petter in the 79. I think got to the inside of Brandon Atkinson there. Got him a little sideways, knocked him back straight. And now Connor Knowlton in the number 2 machine going to try to hold off Gavin Gardner and Kyle Terzak, who are going to be hard charging towards the front here. Terzak underneath Gavin Gardner. He will set his sights on Connor Knowlton. Here comes Justin Mulliken in the 51. Mulliken to the inside of Gavin Gardner. That is for the 4th spot. And the 51 machine has come to life here. Just past the halfway point, he's gotten around Tracy Petter and Gavin Gardner, and now up front for the race lead. Connor Knowlton under attack from Kyle Turzak trying to block off that inside lane. Gonna make Kyle Turzak go the long way around here. And now this time, Knowlton gonna have no other option but to leave the room for Turzak. We'll see if he can use up that outside lane to his advantage. I don't think he's gonna be able to. Nothing left really on that outside lane, and the 2 machine has not gotten tires just yet. One of just 2 drivers in the field to have not come to pit road yet. We get a caution. 2 in the 55 of Gardner may have something in the later stages of the race. That is yet to be determined. They will be hoping for a caution flag late. Up front, Kyle Turzak has taken the race lead. Kyle St. Jean is second. Justin Mulliken in the 3rd spot in the 51. 51 is showing a lot of speed here in this second half. So far, it looks like he may have something for the 55 of Kyle St. Jean. He's just got to be patient on the back bumper. Mulliken with a little bumper to the back bumper of the 55 of Kyle St. Jean. Kyle St. Jean in the 55, trying to hold off Justin Mulliken and Tracy Petter. Petter's right there in the 79 as well. As Mulliken gets into the back bumper of Kyle St. Jean, he'll look to the outside now. The 51 of Justin Mulliken trying to use up that outside lane. Watch him down into turn number 3. On the second groove. And that outside lane in the end of the race is a little bit better because you can keep more throttle once the tires have those heat cycles in them. They don't want to snap on you. You're able to hold the car to your inside. Tight down off the corner. You can see the 51 machine using the second groove. He'll take the second spot away from Kyle St. Jean. Tracy Petter going to follow suit on the outside in the 79. And now Justin Mulliken will try to set his sights on Kyle Turzak to try and take that top spot. Tracy Petter in the 79 trying to use the way outside of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. You can't do it as much in 1 and 2, but turns 3 and 4 you can really use up a lot of racetrack. Oh, caution flag flies. Trouble for Stephen Choate in the number 72. I didn't see what happened there, but Choate, I think, went around. Let's see what happened. You can see Adam Fulford and Zachary Wilt battling back behind him, and oh, I think Choate just got loose down the back straightaway and overcorrected. Came back up across the track and came to a stop. Not for long. He wasn't stopped for very long, just trying to keep the car from going to the outside wall. Now several cars going to come to pit road. Tracy Petter being one of them, I think, to make an adjustment on that race car as well as try to get some of that damage fixed on the right front. Because now we will see a couple drivers come down pit road and get tires. Gavin Gardner, Stephen Choate, Connor Knowlton as well. Jeremiah Woods was getting tires on pit road there. A lot of different strategies still shaking up. We've got 70, actually inside of 70 laps to go. It's actually 67 laps to go. And this time by Justin Coleman. Choose cone time. Your top three all choose the inside lane. And man, not very popular up on the outside. A couple cars went up there at the end, but man, 4 cars on the inside lane. A couple drivers gonna get a big advantage there. How about Caleb Thompson in the 04 machine up to the outside groove? He was involved in an incident early on in this one. Did not get a caution flag. Stayed with it, got the lucky dog, and now he's going to be back up to the 2nd spot. We'll see what happens here as we come back inside of 65 laps to go. Through the start zone one more time. They're back underway. Good jump for Kyle Terzak. He'll take the race lead. Back behind, Justin Mulliken trying to take the spot away from Caleb Thompson. Thompson on the outside lane, though. Trying to make the long way around work. Now everybody back behind him on those fresher tires trying to fight their way through the field, but you don't want to be too impatient as Gavin Gardner shoots 3 wide on the bottom. He and Jeremiah Woods split Adam Fulford right there in the 71. You can definitely see that tires do make a difference here, as we'll see if Connor Knowlton's going to be able to track down Kyle Terzak as St. Jean shot up the racetrack right there. Got into Caleb Thompson. The 04 machine really moving up the track now. Matt Borngren right there on the outside groove. And man, this racetrack has really widened out. Everybody using different lanes. Is now for the 2nd spot. Connor Knowlton trying to get around Justin Coleman, or sorry, Justin Mulliken rather. He knows that the time is going to run thin. He muscles his way to the inside of Justin Mulliken. Mulliken going to try to get back down behind Gavin Gardner. Stephen Choate's going to be right there in the 72. And now Connor Knowlton going to try to track down Kyle Terzak for what would be his first Lead the Pack Super Series victory. It looks like the lap times are going in favor of Connor Knowlton. They waited a little bit longer, got tires later in the race. And now it's looking like they may have the advantage here. Plenty of time left to go, 54 laps. 54 laps for Kyle Terzak. Zachary Wilt to the inside of Justin Mulliken as well. That is for the 6th spot. Mulliken back to 7th. Man, when he got those tires, that car looked like a rocket ship. He has lost some of that speed after firing off very well on the restart. But up front, look at the last time around. Connor Knowlton, the 10th quicker than your race leader, Kyle Terzak. And I think Terzak knows it too. He's trying his best right now to fend off the number 2 machine. But the gap starting to get smaller and smaller. This time around, it is 50 laps to go. 50 to go here at Oxford. Connor Knowlton trying to track down Kyle Terzak for the race lead. Knowlton right there on the back bumper of the 15. And the caution flag flies. That is not what Connor Knowlton wanted to see right there. Adam Fulford in the 71. In trouble. See what happened. Oh, and I actually think it was up in front of him. Tracy Petter in the 79 machine may have gotten tagged. Let's watch that one more time. He was battling with Chris Smith, and I think there was contact right there. 80 machine into the back bumper of the 79. And more contact from Caleb Thompson and Adam Fulford after the fact. That is not what the 79 of Tracy Petter wanted to see. He needs a good end to his season on points. Under caution for the 4th time here tonight, though. Been a surprisingly clean race up to this point, 155 laps in. Only 4 caution flags. But this final restart is going to be interesting for sure. We missed the choose cone there. My bad, Justin Coleman. But Connor Knowlton going to fire off from the inside. Gavin Gardner going to jump up to the 2nd spot. We'll see if he's able to do anything on that outside lane. And this is going to be an exciting run to the finish. Inside of 50 laps to go. Kyle Terzak trying to hold on. Gavin Gardner in the 55 machine, peeking out, trying to time it up right, but the 15 gets a good jump. And he'll be out in front down through turns 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. Here comes Connor Knowlton in the number 2, all over the back bumper of Kyle Terzak. Through turns 3 and 4, leader across the line. That time is going to be Kyle Terzak, but here comes Connor Knowlton in the number 2. Down the back straightaway, Gavin Gardner gets tagged in the 55, and they're going to pile up back behind him. Chris Smith goes around. So does the 79 of Tracy Petter. And that 79 has not had a good night tonight, unfortunately. But you saw Gavin Gardner get tagged down into turn number 3, and that started the melee. We'll see if we can't grab it from the lap before. Here's the 55 going down into turn number 3. I think he just gets tagged by the 72. I don't know if Choate just did not expect Gardner to check up that much, or if he misjudged it, what exactly happened there. But the 72 of Choate got into the back bumper of the 55 of Gardner. And that's a tough break for the 55, and it's also a tough break for Connor Knowlton. Each of these starts, he's had good opportunities with Kyle Terzak, but what does he do here? Each time we have seen him choose the inside lane behind Kyle Terzak. Let's see what they do right here. Pace car goes by, Terzak to the bottom, Knowlton going to follow suit. A lot of guys choosing the bottom that time. And the one thing that's exciting about the Madhouse restarts, or choose cone rule, we call them Madhouse restarts up north, but one of the exciting things about this rule is that when you got a track like Oxford where the inside lane is dominant on the restarts, it allows drivers to take a chance, like Kyle St. Jean right there in the 55, jumped up several spots. He's going to line up in row number 2. How about Jeremiah Woods in the 222 machine? P2 right here. He's on the same set of tires that Connor Knowlton is on. They pit on the same lap there. So we'll see if he's got anything left with 37 laps to go. A slower run through the restart zone that time for Kyle Terzak, but he'll get a good launch down into turns 1 and 2. They're already looking 3 wide back behind him. Your top 3 get in single file. Now Connor Knowlton going to try to set his sights on Kyle Terzak. Does he have anything left in the tank here? "34 laps to go." The machine has the fresher tires. He's had a couple of heat cycles on him. It may have evened out the gap just a little bit in favor of Kyle Terzak. But we'll have to see. That last time around, Knowlton just a tiny bit quicker. But Terzak in the 15 still has the cut and drive off the corner. He doesn't seem to be struggling like he was on that first run on the older tires. But we'll just have to keep an eye on the gap and see if Connor Knowlton can close, try to make up some ground. They've got a battle for the 6th position. Kyle St. Jean up on the outside lane, way up on the outside lane. Trying to hang on. I think he may have used up some of the good in those tires. Oh, in the 55 off track for a moment there, lost a couple more positions. Definitely tell 55 has ran out of some of that speed that we saw earlier on. Matt Morndren to the inside of Chris Smith, making a little contact there. Smith went up the racetrack, header up the racetrack with Chris Smith there. And man, things getting physical here towards the end of this one. Chris Smith went backwards there in a hurry, and I think there may have been trouble between him and Kyle St. Jean. We saw it brewing. We didn't see the finishing act there, but I think it may have been the 72 at Choate. And you can see Chris Smith in the 55. Got his money's worth there that time with Kyle St. Jean. I don't know if it was necessarily St. Jean's fault, though. We'll watch it one more time. Watch the 72 choke. It may have been Kyle St. Jean's fault. He kind of ran him out there. And then overcorrects, gets the 55 in the left rear. And we'll be back under yellow. Kyle Terzak in the 15, your race leader. Trying to hang on for what would be his 4th win of the season, which would tie Tracy Petter. Only been those two. We've not seen another race winner this season. Connor Knowlton trying to be the first to break the streak. Now they will choose one more time. Connor Knowlton to the inside once again. Jeremiah Woods back up to the outside lane. See if he can get a good jump. Look at the 1-to-go signal this time. Running out of laps here. You're one of the drivers wanting this victory other than Kyle Terzak. It'll be 20 laps to go when we send him back green. Kyle Terzak and Jeremiah Woods going to bring the field back to green. Pace car is off. Green is back out, and we're back underway. 21 to go across the stripe that time. Good launch from Kyle Terzak once again in the 15. Connor Knowlton back behind him. Going to try to track him down here. 20-lap shootout here at Oxford. Everybody back behind, scrambling for every position they can get. Jeremiah Woods in the 222 machine got way sideways that time out of turn 2. They're 3 wide back behind them. Matt Borndren dive into the inside underneath Brandon Atkinson and Brandon Elvis. This second half of the pack has been very aggressive. In the end of this one, Steven Choate had to back it down there. Hang on to her, buddy. 16 to go next time by for Kyle Terzak. We've got a battle for the 4th position. Zachary Wilt underneath Jeremiah Woods. Wilt down low. Woods up top. Up front, 15 laps to go. Connor Knowlton trying to keep Kyle Terzak close in his sights. That last lap lost some time, though. About a 10th quicker was Kyle Terzak. I don't think the heat cycles that we've seen at the end of this race really helped the 2 machine. Trying everything he can to track down Kyle Terzak. The laps may be running out. Tracy Petter in the 79 trying to work his way back up into the top 5. This time by, it'll be 11 laps to go. 11 laps to go for Kyle Terzak. And caution flag flies. There was trouble for Brandon Atkinson in the 15A. I didn't see how it happened. I just saw the pop-up on the right side of my screen. I think lost that race car. Went all the way back there, and I think that may have been the caution flag. You can see he was not having a good night in the 15 machine. Yeah, just lost it down into one, got up off the flat, and stopped off the racetrack, and the caution flag comes out for it. The things are going to have one more shot to get exciting here, as we'll have a restart inside of 10 laps to go. That nearly always means chaos, so we'll see what happens. Justin Coleman one more time. What could be one more time. Gonna bring the shoes car out onto the track. Connor Knowlton gonna take the bottom once again. And he will pull that machine back down pit side. Waiting for one of these starts. See if Justin Coleman will maybe turn a couple laps, try and keep up with the field. I don't think he's going to be able to keep up for very long, but I think it'd be pretty funny to watch. As we will send him back racing this time by 5 laps to go. Time running out for Connor Knowlton. Gavin Gardner. How about Tracy Petter right there in the 4th spot? Let's see what happens here. Another good launch from Kyle Terzak through the restart zone that time. Connor Knowlton going to try to get clear of Gavin Gardner as quickly as he can. Gardner sideways in the 55. He'll get back down in front of Zachary Wilt. 4 laps to go this time for Kyle Terzak. Battle for the 4th position on the racetrack. Tracy Petter trying to make that outside lane work and get up to the 4th position. Every point's going to matter here in these final couple weeks. Him and Kyle Terzak are battling for the championship. 3 laps to go. 3 more laps for Kyle Terzak trying to hang on. He's got a comfortable gap over Connor Knowlton as the popsicle sticks are up in the air. 2 laps to go this time. Final 2 laps from Oxford. Kyle Terzak has a half a second advantage down through turns 1 and 2. And the white flag is out. Final time around. Through turns 1 and 2. He started on pole. He led a good chunk of the first half of this race. And he's going to lead the most important lap. Kyle Terzak wins at Oxford and picks up win number 4 on the season. Connor Knowlton in the number 2 machine comes home in the 2nd spot. 3rd is Gavin Gardner. 4th place, Zachary Wilt. 5th place, Jeremiah Woods. Justin Mulliken, P6. Tracy Petter, P7. Matt Borndren, 8th. Stephen Choate, 9th. And Kyle St. Jean rounds out your top 10. Adam Fulford, 11th. Brandon Elvis, 12th. Chris Smith, 13th. Caleb Thompson, 14th. Brandon Atkinson, 15th. And Christian Peterson comes home in the 16th spot here tonight. An eventful race here at Oxford. We had a very clean beginning to the race, and then there were a couple cautions thrown in there. But we will grab a word from our top 3 finishers here. Starting with our 3rd place finisher, Gavin Gardner. Gavin Gardner up into the broadcast booth. 3rd place finisher here tonight. started in the 5th spot. Looked like the 55 had a lot of speed. You guys decided to pit for tires later in the race, and ultimately that worked out for you. I think you guys may have had something to work with there had we not had so many cautions in the late part of the race.
Yeah, it was a great car. I knew that yellow when everybody pit, that we were still around halfway. I knew we weren't done with yellows yet. I wasn't sure when the right yellow was going to come. But once again, caution breeds cautions. Like, we know that. And it's Oxford, like, it's going to happen, right? So I wasn't sure when it was going to happen, but I knew that I could stay out and get a good tire deficit. And once I did, it was pretty smooth sailing up in the top 5 pretty quickly. And then from there was just managing. Got a little tight with Woods there for P3. But I knew if I wanted any chance to be sitting here talking to you that I couldn't let him close the door. So no contact, and definitely hard and clean with him. So that was fun racing with him. Huge congrats to Connor and Kyle. Connor probably should have had that race if it wasn't for the yellows, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Kyle was really quick all night, and we brought a piece. It was a great car, and really happy for us. Huge thank you to JTT, Twisted Speed Shop, Midpack Mafia. Kyle, he brought us a piece. Connor for helping me out there. I was able to follow him up through, and that was very beneficial. We made profit, so that's always good. Finally got ourselves a good even race, and we'll see what next week brings.
Third place finish for you here tonight. We'll try that again. It was a great run. Like you said, you had a good piece. Do you think pitting with some of your teammates, do you think that had a benefit? Do you think it was helpful to pit with all that, or with a big group of guys to be able to have to kind of work through the field? I know you said you followed Connor through, but do you think it really helped pitting as a group, being able to work together?
Yeah, for sure. I knew when Steven stayed out that he was going to pit with us because he had pit earlier for lefts and wanted to adjust. I think it was that caution lap 50 or 60 or something. So I knew that he was going to pit with us. And it's definitely easy to navigate teammates that you're talking to. Steven and I had a little bit of an oopsie. It was both of us fighting for the same spot. I probably could have avoided pinching. He was going side by side, hard racing, so apologies to him for sure. But yeah, it's definitely better navigating the field, talking to people during the race, being around those guys rather than driving through with guys that you don't know with an easy mistake that could happen because you don't have that communication, right? So definitely a team effort to get us 2, 3, 4. Wilt was I did not expect him to hit a P4. Gotta be honest. He was lights out there at the end. He came from nowhere. I looked in my mirror and I was like, how did the shoes go and get bigger because of that orange car? But no, props to him. He had a great piece. Sucks for Petter what happened because he probably could have been up there at the end as well. He had a lot of speed as well. But yeah, we'll take this P3, run with it, and see what we got next week.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Gavin, on P3 here this evening. Hopefully we can talk to you one more time this season.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now to talk to our second place finisher here tonight. So close to the victory. Up in the broadcast booth, Connor Knowlton, P2 here tonight. So close here at Oxford. You get a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Alrighty, well, looked like you may have had one brewing there until we had a couple of those cautions back to back. It looked like you had a tire advantage over Terzak there, had some speed at the end, but just those cautions back to back really, I think, leveled things out with the heat cycles.
Yeah. On one hand, we were badass fast. I mean, that's probably one of the best race cars I've ever had. So I really wanted to bring that one home in what we consider our home race relative to the schedule. It's close enough for us. And we were doing really good. I was on them. And yeah, like you said, when you get back-to-back yellows, it just tightened me up a little too much. I tried all the driver mods I could. I tried brake bias. I did everything I could. It just car didn't want to listen at the end there, which is it's a damn shame. But I'm so proud of our efforts. So it was a hell of a run for.
Yeah, definitely a great run for you guys. I talked to Gavin about you guys all pitting as a group there kind of later than a lot of the field. And I think it really played into your hand well. And like you said, before those cautions, I think you guys really had something brewing there. But sometimes, like Gavin said, that's how the cookie crumbles, but still a great effort. Second, third, and fourth for the JTT guys. How does that boost your momentum going into the final 2 races of the season?
Honestly, it's fantastic. We were loving it. We all agreed that we wanted to be the last one to take tires. We wanted to save them. We wanted to save them. And I was kicking myself there when I saw Petter and Terzak come in, because I know those were gonna be the guys that I was gonna have to race for it. Got a little bit fortunate when we got a caution when we did, but the cautions late kind of offset it. But honestly, it's a huge momentum boost for us. We knew we had a lot of speed here. We were kind of a little worried in practice. We didn't like how the car was feeling. We made a last second change and it just took off, and we were hanging it out, and it's a great momentum boost for us, and I'm so excited for us to keep the ball rolling here.
Alrighty, well, P2 for you here, Connor. I know you thank the GTT guys. Who else do you have to thank for another podium finish here in the Leave the Pack Super Series?
First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Kyle St. Jean. He's the brains of the operation. He's the setup guy for Twisted Speed, and I have him to thank entirely for this. He bust his ass for weeks on end trying to get us a good car, and we knew we had something coming to Oxford. So first and foremost, a big shout out to him and all the guys at Twisted Speed. Just the top media. I'm Lefty Designs, KST Graphics, the usual. Obviously, I got to give a big shout out to the official choose cone of LTP. He did a great job tonight, and of course you, Winston, in the WD Broadcasting Network. Always a great show. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a fun night here tonight, Connor, and second place run for you here this evening. It was fun to watch, but congratulations to you one more time. We'll talk to you hopefully one more time this season, maybe 2 in the final 2 races.
That's the plan. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now we'll talk to our winner here tonight. Dare I say you got a little bit lucky with those late race cautions, but brought it home in victory lane for the 4th time this season. Kyle Terzak up in the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Alrighty, well, sat on pole here tonight. I changed my mind about interviewing you post-race, and luckily I didn't end up regretting it. Still got to grab a word with the 15 machine here tonight. It was an interesting race. We had some different strategy thrown in there. Looked like Connor Knowlton was hounding you down there in those final laps, but I think those cautions kind of evened things out, maybe helped you out a little bit, and you were able to hang on for win number 4.
Yeah. Wow. There we go. Yeah. Start the race, I was really loose. I knew that Tracy starting in the back. I kind of took it easy, and I knew that I had to start a lot looser than I had before because I've been getting too tight, and I tried something tonight. It worked once we put the tires on, but before that, I was all over the place. Connor got to me there, and before we took tires, and I just hoped and prayed when he got inside of me, and he lifted me up a couple times, but I was so loose. He couldn't really react to that. So I was off the gas trying to save it, and it was a whole cluster. But, got back single file there after all that deal, and caution came out. And honestly, I thought Connor's decision was a pretty good decision to stay out. But I just went down with the rest of the group because I thought it would be pretty hard when he would have to come back for the field. But it wasn't the case. He came back for the field. He was really fast, and he came with Gavin and all of his guys. So that's pretty cool to watch. See, O'Connor or Anthony come up for the field there, and he challenged me. I really thought I was in trouble once he got the second. My spotter was telling me the lap times. And he was about 10th faster lap, so I was a bit worried. I was doing everything I can, and those heat cycles really saved me there. So thanks to iRacing to that, but kind of no thanks to iRacing for that. So on his side, but glad we can get this win. I saw that Tracy had a bad night, so hopefully we can close this up and go to 5 flags one of my best racetracks in the Super. So hopefully we can go get another W there.
Yeah, you and I were talking earlier this week about, or I guess this weekend, about what the points would look like, what the drops are going to look like. And I think after tonight, it's going to look a little bit closer. I'm going to have to do some math a little bit later on, and I'm sure we'll talk later about what the points gap is truly going to be with the drops factored in. But we've got 2 races left. You're probably going to have to win out if you want to guarantee a championship, I think. Do you think you can go 2 in a row next week at Five Flags? You've got a lot of momentum pushing you there.
Yeah, I really do. Won the big Winter Derby broadcasted there, and I feel like we were really good with that base. So I'm just going to use that to start with and go from there. I know that Kuhn has always great setups I can adjust off of with the weather and whatnot. So hopefully we can get a W there. It's going to be a little bit more tricky at Nashville if we go 2 in a row because we have to start in the back, but. A lot of time there. We get 200 laps, and I feel like that Nashville is one of the most patchiest tracks on iRacing with the Super right now. So it's just risk and reward type deal. You saw Tracy. I mean, he got to the top 10 and lap 20, and was right with us on lap 70. So yeah, just hopefully we can go get another W at Five Flags and see what we can do at Nashville for the title.
All right. Well, before I let you go, Kyle, who else do you have to thank for your 4th victory of the season?
Yeah, I want to thank you for putting this on. Great broadcast as always. Arcade Stop Shop for everything to do for me. Hot Shot Photography, best iRacing photos. Thursday Racing on Facebook. Corey Buddy Raps was beautiful, number 15. The Choose Code tonight, that was hilarious. I mean, we got to have that every week. Everybody's watching back at home, and all these guys coming out and racing. It was a lot of fun. The competition is getting more stronger and stronger every week, and it's just not me and Tracy now. It's Connor and everyone running up front now. So it's really racy and a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun this season, and we've had some really good races in this second half. So looking forward to these final final 2 races of this season, and hopefully we can talk to you a couple more times before we finish things out, Kyle.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was your winner here tonight, Kyle Turzak. Smaller field here tonight, only 16 cars, but honestly made for a pretty good night of racing. We had a lot of action up front. The track was a lot wider than I expected. I didn't really expect to see any outside groove. And we did see a couple cars on new tires make that outside groove work. We saw a couple cars way up in the outside groove. Brandon Elvis was making that 3rd groove work for a little while, but fortunately just did not quite have the right strategy there at the end. But fun run overall. Next week we are at the Five Flags Speedway before we finish things off at Nashville Fairgrounds. But thank you guys for tuning in to the WD Broadcasting Network. We'll be back Thursday night for the Trackmaster Sim Series Championship at Southern National, so tune in there. You guys aren't going to want to miss that one. That one's going to be a fun one. 200 laps again. But until next week, we'll have Iowa with the Winter Challenge Series, and then Leave the Pack goes to Five Flags. You guys won't want to miss it, so hit the red subscribe button for more iRacing content. I'm your host, Winston Deal, signing it off from the WD Broadcasting Network. You guys have a good night.